Ahoy there folks, I'm Captain Benzie and welcome back to another developer Q&A video for Eve Echoes. Each week the developers of Eve Echoes take a series of questions posed by you guys, the community, they respond to those questions and then post the questions and answers to the official Eve Echoes Discord, Facebook page, Twitter or X account, and somewhere in the game as well. I can never actually remember where that one actually is. Each week I like to go through these questions and the answers, adding my own personal thoughts and opinions, and I do need to state ahead of time, I'm attacking questions, not the people asking them. It is a stupid question, not a stupid person, although sometimes that is a very thin boundary, but hey, let's not get into that one at this point. This week's Dev Q&A is one that Cloud is fielding, and I have a lot of respect for Cloud as a developer. I've spoken with him an awful lot over the years that I've been covering Eve Echoes. I think he genuinely is a passionate developer with a lot of good ideas who is sadly hamstrung by the business model that NetEase enforces upon the game. That said, when it comes to Dev Q&As, Cloud has a propensity for picking the questions that tend to be, what can we buy? What else can we spend money on? And just other crap like that. He's very much leaning heavily into the marketing propaganda for the game, so do bear that in mind before we go further. Before we go a little bit into this one, I do just want to say, first of all, we are now in September. Huzzah! Eve FanFest is a matter of weeks away. I know obviously this is an Eve Echoes video, but if you are going up to FanFest this year, please let me know. I would love to meet you guys there, share a beer, just, you know, hell, even just a handshake, say hi and meet some of you in the flesh, so to speak. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for it, and yeah, I genuinely cannot wait. Finally, before we jump in, I am having some real heavy difficulties with my laptop at the moment. I'm still having to use my stepdad's laptop and my sister's laptop from time to time, going between editing and playing the game and doing all kinds of stuff like that. My laptop's currently in the shop having some real heavy work done to it. I am really struggling with the possibility that I may have to suddenly get myself an entirely new desktop rig set up from scratch. If you are able to donate, I will put a link down below to my PayPal tip jar, and I will actually remember to do it for this video, so if you can donate to help, that would be greatly appreciated. I know some people think this is begging. I'm genuinely just asking for help from the community. Anyway, all that said and done then, let's jump right into me hopefully not getting too angry to the point that I burst a blood vessel at the weekly developer Q&A for the 22nd to 28th of August. Question number one then, for AI mode. Oh god, we're going in hard, aren't we? Okay, breathe Benzie, breathe. For AI mode, can we make orbit options such as optimal, custom distance, or off? Since it causes some ships to be useless currently because it has optimal range orbit as its default mode. Well, yeah, again, this comes down to the whole thing that if you want the game to be optimal, frickin' play the game. Actually pick your damn phone up and engage with it. If you are so utterly bored of Eve Echoes, why are you trying to play a game that just really you don't enjoy? Move on to something better, like EVE Online, if you can. Heck, there's a whole slew of mobile games I've been playing recently that aren't Eve Echoes. I still log into Eve Echoes, obviously. I still talk to people, I still get out and try exploring Cobalt Edge, but that's another topic for another video. But if you're begging for them to fix the AI mode, it's because you don't want to play the game. And I said when this happened that the truly insidious thing about the new AI nanocore wouldn't be that, oh, it's automating the gameplay. It's that it would be utterly dogshit, and then NetEase would spend the next months or years trying to fix just an inherently broken system. Like, please, name me one other video game. Just one. Any one video game where you can do as well by playing the game and actively engaging with the systems, picking up a controller or going mouse and keyboard or picking up your phone or whatever platform it's on, a game that you can get as much by engaging with the game and actively playing as you can by just turning the game on, putting your device down and walking away. Name one. Name one game where that is a thing. Like, you can't, because that is inherently against game design. The whole point of a game is something that you have fun with. So if you're not having fun with something, stop doing it and find something that you do have fun with. Like, there are millions of video games out there. I've said before, I'll say again, Eve Echoes' biggest strength and its biggest, holdback is its community. We have such an incredible community in EVE Echoes that people are willing to put up with the absolute dog shit that the developers do to them for the simple fact that they don't want to lose the community. You see this kind of with Facebook and Twitter and things like that, where people don't want to leave. They will take all of the abuse and have all of the shit thrown at them and just sit there and take it because I don't want to lose access to my friends and these people that I've gotten to know. And I get it. I really get it. But we do have to stand up and say to the devs, look, enough is enough, and that these idiots asking for the AI nanocores to be completely revamped and for work to continue pushing on those, they don't speak for the majority of the community, do they? Do they? Because once that becomes the majority, EVE Echoes is already dying, but I think that is our hallmark of when it is actually considered a dead game. When even the active players are no longer actively playing. I hate the AI nanocore with a burning passion, because it literally embodies a design philosophy that I think is absolute anathema to game design in general, that we understand that this game has some bits that are boring and you don't enjoy, but rather than fix them, we're going to give you an option to try and ignore them. That to me is just, I hate that. Absolutely hate that. I hate the fact that NetEase not only have done this, but they've actively gotten away with it, and that even if Cloud is picking these, out of a pile, there are still people who actively want that. And I just hate that. If you want to play an AFK idle game, go play a fucking AFK idle game. Stop trying to turn EVE into one. Like, genuinely. A friend of mine I was having one of these weird, deep conversations recently, as you do when you're going through a divorce and one of your best friends is as well, and he was saying that one of the biggest bits of advice that he was given when he became a father was that you prepare your child for the road, you don't try and prepare the road for your child. And I really like that as a concept in general, and I know I'm going a bit off topic and a bit deep on that, but this very much is the case here with EVE. If you don't enjoy a game, go find a game you do enjoy. Stop trying to change a game that you don't enjoy into one that you do. And I know that there's a certain amount of hypocrisy there, that I'm sitting here saying, stop trying to change this game, it should be like this, and I'm saying I'm not enjoying it, it should be like that. But that's because I know what Echoes was. I know what Echoes could be. I have seen the possibilities that this game has, the potential this game has, and I've watched for 3 years as it's been squandered further and further and further. I'm not fighting to change a game, I'm fighting to save a game. There's a difference. Question number 2 then. Hi devs, can you please add a new implant? Oh god, here we go. God, Cloud, damn, really? First one's AI, second one's implants. It's all just, what can we add? Please, NetEase, take my money. Oh god, I just want to kick these people in the groin hard. Again, not the actual person, I want to kick the question in the groin. It's kind of a metaphysical thing. This kind of question needs to be kicked hard. Can you please add a new implant that increases jump range, etc. of capital ships? It would mean that caps can jump further and would have to make a choice over increased range or increased DPS from the implants. Thank you in advance. Okay, yay. So let's first of all just address the fact that asking for more implants is again buying into a bullshit system that has been sold to you on the understanding that FOMO is very much a driving force behind sales. It's why so many of these things are limited time. I used to play Command & Conquer Rivals a lot, and they added a load of like skins and emojis and things that you could buy, but they put them on timers, and once they were gone, they were kind of gone for good, and people have sat there and gone, well, why would you do that? Now that new players are coming in, they want these things, they'd spend money on that. Yeah, but the FOMO at the time was worth more than having it on a constant availability thing. So what they've done with implants is give everyone, or give certain groups, implants. This now leads everyone who is not in those groups to also desire implants. It's why we have questions for, oh, when are we getting more mining implants? Or is there going to be a salvaging implant? Or now a jump distance implant? Because capitals aren't good enough as it is. We need to have more ways to avoid actually engaging with the game. Why do we want to have people flying covert ops ships that use sinusoidal fields when we can just have longer jump ranges? That means fewer people are required. Which I kind of get. When a game's dying, you want things to be achievable by fewer people, because there are just fewer people around. But you could also try saving the game, you know, rather than, what can I spend more money on, Papa NetEase? That's where we're at. That is literally where we're at. These are people begging NetEase to swipe their credit card, to invent something new for them to swipe their credit card on. And I don't get that. I don't get that. There is so much in life that you could be doing with that money. if the game was fixed. If the devs had kept their original promise of keeping this a mega only, you'd be paying $5 a month and getting a fantastic experience. You'd be getting the EVE experience that we were getting during the first year or so of Echoes, when it was genuinely all good, and that's not rose-tinted goggles. I've gone back and watched my old videos and gone, you know what, I really miss that, and that was solid design. It was about the time that nanocores started coming in that things went downhill, and implants put it into a full-on spiral along with capitals. We're literally at a point now, though, where literally, I don't know, we could have had a game that you paid a monthly subscription for and had a fantastic time, allowing you to save these hundreds of dollars that you spend on things like implants, going out and enjoying your life, spending time with friends and family, and taking this awesome game in your pocket with you and playing it. But now, no, that wasn't enough for NetEase. They needed more money to please the investors. And I'm sorry, you can sit there and tell me, oh, but it's because the game was dying, they needed other ways to make money. Again, putting your prices up or adding new options to, like new payment options, doesn't help a business. It's not the only way to do it. You can also increase revenue by increasing footfall, having more people through the door. If you made this game more accessible to more people, because they didn't open up the game and go, oh, well, fuck, there's nothing I can do for literally the next 10 months, because I'm not Tech 10 yet, and there's no feasible way for me to speed that up. If there was a way for new players to actually enjoy this game, you might have new players stick around, which means a bigger player base, which means more money coming in, which means less reliance on freaking stupid purchases. But again, people just want the purchases, apparently. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us, says Cloud. We are gradually adding more types of implants, and mobility-focused implants are one of the popular proposals. Yeah, cool. Let's wait until we have, like, interceptors flying at literally 5 kilometers a second or 10 kilometers a second. Let's make it so that capital ships don't even need a sinusoidal, field to jump to anymore. They can just pick a system and jump to it, because that's what the implant allows. Because remember, when the entire business model, when the entire way that these guys have of making money is based on selling you the next big thing, the next big thing has to be better than the previous thing. You can't sit there, they cannot risk you sitting there and going, well, that sounds cool, but I don't really need it, because you know what I've got is pretty good and those are kind of equivalent. The next big thing has to be better, because they want you to give up the stuff you're already using and pay money to get the new stuff. So you're always going to have this power creep, and implants absolutely embody that, and questions like this are literally begging for more of that to be added to the game. It's not adding choice. I know you think it's adding choice, but when you put that into NetEase's hands, the choice is, do you spend money or not? And they want you to answer yes to that. Question number 3, would you like to implement the idea of add a private security box at one chosen station? You can add it as an Omega option and players pay a monthly fee. Oh look, more questions about how can I spend more money? We can use it to store items that we don't want to sell or reprocess by mistake and have them at hand easily, thank you. Station containers, they promised them 4, 5, 6 months ago now, and they still aren't in the game. Literally said, oh, coming soon! Here's all the advertising, here's all the cool stuff, we're going to be adding them. Still nothing. This is why the whole in the future thing is just bullshit, means nothing. Means nothing. The devs lie through their teeth at you in order to keep you hanging on and hoping and praying that things are going to be getting better. So, Cloud says, we're actually working on developing this feature. Well, you told us it was done and it was actually coming, but clearly you hadn't figured out a way to monetize it properly. But it's going to take some time because it involves a lot of different systems and testing. We don't have an exact timeline for when it will be available, but we'll definitely keep you posted on any updates. Station containers. They're really, really simple. I don't know what Cloud is going on about here. They are really, really simple. And again, EVE Online has the literal blueprint for how these work. Just copy that. Just copy paste that. It's the least effort you need to do, and it just makes it work. But NetEase don't like to do that. They want to look at EVE Online and go, well, that could work, or we could try it our own absolute dogshit way, and somehow maybe that'll work. You've got the answers to the test, but no, we're going to try and figure it out ourselves anyway. Question number 4. Love the new Navy frigates. Sure. Are there any plans to add more frigate-only content or update existing content? Are there any plans to add any more frigate-only content? What do we really have? I guess, yeah, faction war games? Or to make use of these new ships? Exactly what I've been saying. First good question on here, not just because it agrees with me, because it's actually asking about gameplay. It's not just, please take my money. It's, please fix your fucking game. Come on, seriously. And yeah, New frigate content would be awesome. You know it's going to be locked behind Tech 10, you know it's going to be pointless and new players aren't going to be wanting to be anywhere near it, but there we go, that is how it is. Hey, says Cloud, we're glad you're digging the new Navy frigates. Our team is already looking into ways to add more frigate stuff. We hear you and will definitely keep you posted as things progress. We hear you, says Cloud, the guy who said, yes, we're bringing new small ship content to the game, and then added 4 cruisers, 4 battleships, and a carrier. Yeah, we need new frigate content. And again, I am sick to the hind teeth of people crawling out the woodwork when I say it and go, oh, there is frigate and small ship content in the game. And yes, I'm doing the fucking voice. Irritates the hell out of me. Oh, you've got things like Nihilist Dead Space. You've got that one dormant realm that you can run 3 times a week. So awesome. My frigate and cruiser content is one type of content that I can run 3 times a week at maximum, and one that I have to fly around for hours and cross my fingers that there happens to be one around and available within a reasonable vicinity to me. Whereas everyone else just gets to open up the game and play the game. That's not content. That is not content. I'm talking Abyssal Dead Spaces, I'm talking C13s, I'm talking all kinds of stuff that could be frigate exclusive content, cruiser exclusive content. I've talked about this at length before. All you need to do is, oh look, we've got these small, medium and large anomalies which currently exist in the game. Most people tend to run those in certain ships anyway. Let's now make it so that some of those anomalies, well, all of those anomalies, you now need an acceleration gate to get into. One that reduces the sniping meta and actually gives brawlers a place, because an acceleration gate you can't warp to 100. You can warp to 100 on the gate, but then when you go through the gate, you're at 0 and you have to adapt to that situation. So that already fixes a lot of the problems with Eve Echoes and its meta. The other side of this is that you can have those acceleration gates gate the ships that can use them. Oh, this acceleration gate will only accept cruisers or smaller. This acceleration gate will only accept frigates. This now means that you've got a Tech 10 anomaly, for example, a Tech 10 Guristus small anomaly. And I can already run that in certain frigates. It takes a lot longer than it would to do a battleship, and that's fine. That's fine. I do not believe that a frigate should be earning as much ISK per hour as a battleship. I've never once said that. The problem is, if I jump into a Tech 10 small anomaly in a frigate and I'm running it, all I can think of is, I should just be in a battleship for this. Like, genuinely, if I were in a battleship, I'd clear this so much faster. But by removing the possibility of actually putting a battleship in there, suddenly I've got to use a frigate, which means you have all of these anomalies out there that the battleship pilots and the carrier pilots can't run. It is something exclusively for the frigate pilots. Just like I, as a frigate pilot, cannot solo run a Tech 10 large anomaly because I will get chewed to pieces. It's that kind of thing. It gives you choices. It's such a weird backwards logic concept that actually restricting options gives choices. When anything can work, then there's always going to be a best option. And people will either go for the best option or feel awful because they're not in the best option. So if you restrict something, you narrow the choices down. There's still going to be a best option. Like if you made it frigate only, you might find that one particular frigate does do it better than the others. But now suddenly, out of all of the Tech 10 ships, you're now having an argument between 15, 20 of them, rather than all of them. Right? And when all of them are involved, the battleships just win. So it's like, oh, we could have all of these categories, but the battleships will just win all of them. Now you've got different content, which means the frigates win at this one, the destroyers win at this one, the cruisers win at this one, the battleships still win at those ones. Why is that a problem? Why do people feel the need to argue with me on this? That, oh no, we don't need new content like this. Why are people averse to adding new content to the game? Is it because they think that it'll stop them having new stuff to swipe their credit card on? Because that's what people apparently want from this game now? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment down below. Finally then, because then we can be done with this. Oh, Covert Ops I see on this. This is going to be a fun one, isn't it? Hello devs, when will you bring Covert Ops cloaks to mining ships? The Venture series of ships needs some love for those of us that enjoy that ship. Another suggestion is to add a third mid-slot and scanning bonuses to the Venture 3 and 4. Doing this will give more reason to fly that ship and also clear out the vast amount of nihilist space in New Eden. Thank you for your time. This question has been asked now 3-4 times in dev Q&As, and every time it comes up I say yes, fucking thank you, do this, do this, do this. Venture 3 and Venture 4 should have Covert Ops capabilities and should have the additional mid-slot so that they can fit a scanner. Make them a ship that is designed to run the Nihilist compressed spaces, because fly around New Eden as an explorer, and you will find that probably about 95 to 99% of the anomalies you scan down are Nihilist compressed space, because almost nobody runs them. Because if you're flying something like an Orca, they're just awful. It's awful to have to try and find these things and then fly a super slow ship, or even a Covetor 2, this super slow ship in there to try and do it. Having something like a Covert Ops Venture would work. Right now, the Venture 3 is almost pointless, because by the time you get the Venture 3, you're about to start flying a Retriever. And the Retriever's just flat out better for 90% of the content that those two ships can do. So, then the Venture 4. Does anyone seriously fly the Venture 4? It's a cool looking ship. I really used to enjoy the Venture, and in EVE Online I enjoy gas huffing, I enjoy flying the Prospect and the Endurance, both covert ships. Technically the Endurance doesn't use covert ops cloaks, it uses a standard cloak, but it does so with massive bonuses to it, so it's speed whilst cloaked. It's a great ship for getting in and out of tight spaces, ninja oaring, basically, ninja mining, ninja huffing, that kind of thing. Same with the Prospect, that is a covert ops ship. So having a covert ops capability on the Venture 4 breathes life back into a ship that just doesn't get used, and it also breathes life into a type of content that nobody really runs either. That's 2 wins for just literally going Venture 4, Covert Ops Cloak, additional mid-slot, and maybe some, like, scanning bonuses, scan resolution, I don't know, something like that could really work. Not scan resolution, that's the other one. Scan radius reduction. Something like that to help you actually find those sites quicker and be able to run them. And because that is a Tech 10 ship, I do believe that the Venture 3 should be retooled to be a worse version of the Venture 4. If we're going to be stuck with this bullshit tech system, we're going to have to lean into it. And having a Venture 3 that is essentially a shorter version of the Venture 4, a lower tech version of the Venture 4, still has the cloaking capability, still has the scanning capability, but just doesn't harvest nearly as much, that kind of thing, that's cool. And suddenly, that gives players choice and meaningful content. God, I would be out there scanning and mining. That tells you how big a change that would be. Do it. Do it, netties. What does Cloud say? Because I bet you it's a no. The Venture 1 to 4 models are basic versions and do not have the Covert Ops Cloak feature, but it's possible that advanced models in the future may utilise this technology. Again, we're going to add new stuff, and then we're going to find ways to sell it to you. It's possible in the future. That means it's never happening. That genuinely means it's never happening. In the future is such a vague term for netties anyway. That's kind of a maybe, probably not. That in the future is kind of that we'll see when someone says, hey, do you want to come out to this awful party or event that I've got planned on Friday night? And you say, you know what? I'll check my calendar, I'll have a look, and I'll think about it, I'll let you know. It's a no, is what that is. It's a no with a very slight possibility of a yes. But if you then add that it's possible in front of that, you've now got a diminutive in front of an already slim chance. So yeah, it's just never happening. But why? Why would you need to add a new ship? Why would you need to go to the process of designing a full new ship when all you need to do is that? It's basically a balance adjustment. Venture 3, Venture 4 both get +1 mid-slot, and the ability to use Covert Ops Cloaks. Venture 4 also gets a scan radius reduction, and possibly a slight buff to its mining yield, and its ore hold and stuff like that, just to make it even more attractive. The reason they won't do it, as I've said, is because they can't sell that. They want to be selling you stuff. Every time there's an update, it needs to be monetized. And I kind of get that, you've got bills to pay and that. Staff have worked on something they need paying, sure, fine. But again, keeping players actually in the game is going to be worth more than making a quick buck on the side. If you just sit there and just constantly add new ways to pay, every time there is an update that adds new ways to pay, this is your community. You add a new update. These people go, oh, there's nothing in this for me. You've now got 90. Sorry, I've lost my screen there. You've now got 90. So then that update has lost some people. And okay, some of them are going to spend. Then your next update comes and these people go, so there's still nothing for me. And some of these do still spend, but there's now fewer of them because it's, say 40% of the player base. It's now, a smaller player base. Some of these people will now just actually leave as well because there's less players around and they're getting bored of a quieter game. Which means when the next update comes around, all of these people leave because there's still nothing for them, and they've been holding on, and they're also watching all their friends leave, and there's nothing tying them into the game. So now, after 3 updates, you're down to 40% of your community, and then the next update comes along, and those guys start getting bored as well. Because there's no community anymore. When all you do is add new ways to pay, there are people who get tired of that and eventually quit. There are no new people joining this game, or at least not at nearly the level that they need to be to make up for the exodus, the hemorrhaging, going out the other side. And as long as all you focus on is monetizing the ever-living shit out of what is remaining of your community, you'll never get new people in. And all you are doing is just squeezing tighter and tighter and tighter on an ever-shrinking community until eventually there's nothing left. The game dies and people leave. EVE Online has made it 20 years. People often say to me, oh, Benzie, you're comparing a 20-year-old game to a 3-year-old one. Yeah, I am. Because the 3-year-old one had the blueprint of the 20-year-old one. It had the advantage of being able to see what the 20-year one had done right and had done wrong, and to learn from those mistakes. And it feels kind of like the Lost World to Jurassic Park. That line of, I've learned from my mistakes, Ian. Yes, you have. And now you're making entirely new ones. It's not even that with Echoes. They're making the same mistakes and they're making worse ones. They're making their own mistakes. This game is not going to have 20 years on it. There's no two ways about that. While EVE Online could theoretically easily have another 20 years, going from strength to strength and strength, Echoes, I'll be amazed if it makes another 2. I'll actually be astonished if it makes it to the 4th anniversary. If they're celebrating the 4th anniversary, I'll be surprised. I'm not going to say I'll eat my hat, because this is an icon. But I'll be surprised if they make it to the 4th year and still have enough people to celebrate that it made it to its 4th year. Anyway, that's it for this week's developer Q&A. It's a cloud dev Q&A, so yeah, it's all about the selling, it's all about what you can buy, and I don't know, am I alone in this? Am I alone in thinking that there should be more to this game than just what you can swipe your credit card on? Maybe it's just me, and am I also realising that this bit here is in a different font to everything else? God, quality control is just non-existent at NetEase at the moment, isn't it? Anyway, folks, thank you for watching this one right the way through to the end. Happy sailing, and see you in New Eden. Or indeed Iceland, if you're there in a couple of weeks.